Pizza Jaffa's orange grows. Microchips is us. iPhone cameras us. Taco salads us. Dodon's us. Olive Garden us. White phosphor us. Sabra Hamas. Hasbara sus.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bad Hasbara,
the world's most moral podcast.
My name is Matt Leave. I'm your world's most moral co-host.
I'm Daniel Mate. I'm your other most moral co-host. I'm not sure what's so funny, but apparently, Matt's in a jocular mood today.
I'm in a very jocular mood. For those of you who are listening and not watching, first of all, what are you doing? Go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And those who are watching and not listeing, what are you doing? Listen to this podcast instead. I'm trying.
Whatever you're doing it wrong.
Stop doing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them to switch. So for those of you who are just listening, it looks like Mr. Mate is wearing a lot of red. You are in an orange. You are all oranged out, and I think I think I already know what you're doing, which is
Orange Dan bad.
Orange Dan is bad.
Alexa, studio light orange.
No, we can't. Thank God.
That's as good as you guys can do with orange.
Listen,
Look,
we don't.
I'm not
great.
I'm not buying it. I heard. I mean, and I was gonna play it off. I was gonna try to play it cool, casual, as if I just happened to end up like this. But of course, it takes a certain amount of deliberation to.
I mean,
have all the records behind me have orange in them and have this orange tarp.
That took work.
Yes, it
You
did.
look like you're wearing a squirrel tail, like you're a mascot, like working at a Hasbara theme park. You are.
Well, the squirrel part I get. Hasbara, I don't know what you're talking about. I just woke up one morning and all my social media feeds informed me in various ways for reasons I didn't quite understand that if I wanted to be a moral member of the human race in good standing who cares about human life,
humanity, yes.
Humanity.
Yes.
This was the color, apparently. This is the color that represents the human beings we're supposed to care about. And
yes.
I'll be damned if I'm not going to be seen as a humanitarian.
As a humanitarian, yes, you are good. I'm wearing like a black thing, so I'm bad. And I'm next to someone else who is also bad, who I'm introducing early because she's literally right next to me. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, welcome to the podcast, the host of the Bitchuation Room and my wife, Francesca Fiorentini. How you doing?
Good. I feel this orange is too yellow, and now I'm just too much yellow.
Yeah, it's a lot of yellow going. How about let's try this? Alexa, studio red. Oh, there we go.
Okay, that works.
Actually, kind of orangey from here.
It is kind of orangey.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Finally, God, your bookers were really reticent.
Sorry, we kept pushing you back just because we just kept having other guests that were more important than my wife. But then I realized my wife is my life. That's what I realized.
New revelation.
Yes. Yes. We are wearing. We have a orange background, and you are wearing orange because we are going to be talking about a specific orange subject matter today. And caveat before we start. This is very specifically.
Let's explain the comedy now. Let's explain the satire. Let's make sure people don't misunderstand and get offended.
I'm just saying this is a podcast about Israeli Hasbara, and we're going to be talking about orange Hasbara today.
Yes.
But before we do that, we are first going to say, hey, did you know that Francesca and I will be at the Sacramento Punchline on March 16th at 7 p.m. So please buy tickets. It's in the show notes. Also, we're going to be at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And that is on May 6th.
Wednesday, May 7th.
Wednesday, May 7th.
Yeah, that'll be great. So Bay Area, come through. Cobb's is big, so bring all of your family and friends. Bring everyone over the age of 18.
Yes.
And we're excited to see you there.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. You can buy your tickets to that now. So if you're someone who's in San Francisco and was like, I was going to go to Sacramento, hey, maybe go to the San Francisco Cobb show instead, or go to both.
Go to both.
And today our sponsor is, today's episode is brought to you by the Palestinian Red Crescent Society. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society is part of the International Red Cross and the Red Crescent movement and operates in Palestine and the diaspora. PRCS is guided by the Geneva Conventions and the movement's fundamental principles: humanity, impartiality, neutrality, independence, voluntary service, unity, and universality. You can donate right now at PalestineRCS.
CRS.
No, is it? Yeah.
RCS.
PRCS.
I'm sorry. That's small.
PalestineRCS.org. Let me host my show.
You know, we're not generally fans of conventional thinking on this podcast, but the Geneva Conventions are conventions that would be nice if we could, retain in this world.
It is one of my favorite conventions next to like Comic-Con. That's a good convention. Narcotics Anonymous World Convention. That's always fun. That's, once a year. But this is probably my favorite. It's my favorite convention. And yes, so donate there. Also donate patreon.com/badhasbara. Daniel, we have a very special What's the Spin because we have a orange color palette going on. Can you tell us what's the spin?
Sure, but first I got to say, people who go to Bad Hasbara at patreon.com/Bad Hasbara, they're not donating, all right? They're investing, they're purchasing, they are investing in themselves. It's self-care. It's not about us.
That's right. That's right.
Because what do they get? They get extra slop. They get free. They get early releases. They
early
get
slop.
Early slop, extra slop.
Yeah.
They early access to tickets for things.
Correct.
It's really an investment in yourself.
It's an investment in yourself. Exactly. Now, in terms of what the spin is, again, look, I just pick things off the shelf randomly, as you can see. So here's a really great album called Freetown Sound by singer-songwriter Devon Hines, also known as Blood Orange.
Nice.
Okay, I like it.
A record from the 80s by the British group XTC, Oranges and Lemons.
I love it.
For no particular reason, Channel Orange by Frank Ocean.
I was wondering if you were going to do that.
Yeah.
Great album.
It can't all be one. It can't all be monochrome, right? So
Sure.
Green by R.E.M.
Okay. All right.
featuring the single Orange Crush.
You still got it in there. Those are all great. I mean, great choices all around. Turns out Orange is the new black. I don't know what I'm saying. Orange is the New Black soundtrack. Probably should be in there if they make a vinyl out of it. If they have a soundtrack.
The animals.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, that's right.
Is that from that?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
the song.
Shout out to
Karen
my
O?
Instagram friend
Or no?
Laura Gomez, who is a big pro-Palestine celebrity,
Oh, cool.
actress who was on Orange is the New Black.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that. I love when there's a Hollywood person who is pro-Palestine, and we will be getting into a little bit of that today as well.
Yeah.
But we gotta talk about Orange. Is there a helicopter? We shouldn't have done this orange
That's
bit.
on my end. Let me close my window.
Oh, is that your... Okay.
No, there's
It's
one here
construction.
too.
No, there's one here, too.
We've
Oh,
got
shit.
helicopter.
Oh, fuck. It's Mossad.
It's Mossad. They don't think your background is sufficiently orange.
Yeah. Oh, this is fine. Don't worry about the sound. It sounds good to me.
All right.
And that is a car. Vroom, vroom. So...
Wait, is there going to be any anti-ginger hate
No,
in this episode?
No, there's going to be, I think, a cynical amount of pro-ginger love in this episode.
Because I want everyone to know, Matt, are you technically a ginger? Do you think?
Yeah, I'm ginger on my mom's side, so
You're
that
ginger
means
on
I'm
your
full
mom's.
ginger.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what they call ginger in Israel, in Hebrew?
What do they call it?
Gingy.
Gingy. It sounds like a slur, and I bet it's meant as such. Uh,
Definitely.
knowing Israeli.
Only if you say it with a hard J.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely they've racialized it. Now, this is something that for the last week or so we've been hearing a lot about the deaths of the Israeli captives in Gaza, the Bibas family, and that's Kafir, Ariel, and
Shiri.
and
the mother.
Shiri Bibas, and
Whose deaths we are 100% not mocking.
no, 100% not mocking. It is a tragedy is a tragedy. Death is death, especially for non-combatants, and especially
kidnapping
for
kids
children.
is kidnapping kids, and
100%.
loss is loss.
And I think what has been ever since it was officially announced, because this was something that was known in late November of 2023. It was reported that Hamas had come out and said, hey, the Bibas family was killed in Israeli airstrikes, and they were trying as early as then to give them their body backs as part of a trade for as a ceasefire and whatnot, which the Israeli government ignored multiple times. They just ignored this report. They ignored the request to trade the bodies, and they wanted to have nothing to do with it. This is from November 29th, 2003. Hamas says 10-month-old hostage Kafir Bibas was killed in an Israeli bombing.
But that didn't stop the posters all over the Upper West Side with these kids'
Yes.
faces, bring them home. They've been sort of some of the most recognizable names.
I would say Kafir Bibas has been the sort of the face in a way of the sadly of the genocide. The amount of propaganda featuring this 10-month-old baby has been atrocious. I mean, we've seen
the face of the genocide rationale.
Yes, exactly. The face of the genocide rationale. And that's kind of what this entire thing is. And it's one of the reasons why when this started being reported, I was really holding my tongue, because it's like, on the one hand, I'm trying to as someone we have a child, as someone with a child, it's like the last thing I want to do is start immediately talking about the death of a child in some, crass political terms. And then watching what has happened since has been really, really disgusting in ways in which I can't keep my mouth shut. The ways in which the deaths of this family has been used by Israel, and not just the government, but also like Zionists, not just in Israel, but in America, has been so disturbing and infuriating that it's made
you see orange.
Yes, it made me see orange.
I mean, and that I think that what's crazy about it is, November was already the time when we were seeing, Palestinian babies dead in their parents' arms. And, the propaganda was, that's a doll. Literally, people were saying that is not a real baby. That is a doll.
Yes.
So we should never believe our lying eyes.
Yes.
And then, we have these splashes of, this adorable little kid, this baby that was killed by an Israeli strike. And another thing we know about Israeli strikes is that they don't have to be necessarily targeted that house or that person for a 10-month-old to die of shock, to die of the, the whatever residual impacts of a strike. And on top of it, it was an Israeli strike. So all of it is bad faith. All of it is absolutely weaponizing, our, seeing a baby, but also prizing one baby over the next. And a month into the genocide, it was like, this is very clear which babies we're supposed to care about.
Yes.
Yeah, prizing one baby over the next 10,000.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And I think that is what has that is what's driven me crazy recently, is the fact that we are immediately back to this fake Israeli and pro-Israel and Zionist hand-wringing of just like, where's your humanity when it comes to the Bibas family, where you are seeing people reusing the lines from early October, from back when October 7th, 2023, when that first happened. It was a lot of where's your humanity? Where's your humanity? Over and over and over again.
At the same time as where's your humanity? Right in parallel with, you know what? I just lost my humanity.
Yeah.
I just I've
Yeah.
had it with this humanity shit. I've seen enough. It's time to
Yeah.
wipe them all out. Like,
Yes.
there's no humans there, and there's no time
Right.
for human sentiment. Where's
Yes.
your humanity that you don't understand that my humanity has to be composted
Yes.
or trash compacted right now, and we have
Yes.
to wipe out this entire millions of people population.
Yes. Yeah. And it's been, it's been the same thing. I mean, now for like 16 months where we have just been, you're both simultaneously scolded for having no humanity and scolded for not understanding that sometimes trauma makes it so you can't have humanity. And it's obviously incredibly schizophrenic in terms of like the Hasbara purpose of it.
Or even to quote something, I forget what it is. Maybe we have this later on. I forget. I've read so many ridiculous, horrendous things this week. They're all blurring in my head. But hate is a Jewish value too, apparently.
Oh yes,
No
yes,
way.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think that was, what was that? Tablet? Was that Tablet?
Yeah, that was in
magazine?
Tablet. Yeah,
Yeah.
Proudly?
Yeah.
This is not anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
This is an actual proud.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
yeah, like a
got it,
time
got it.
for hate. Like a to everything turn.
Turn.
There- a time to
To
bomb
hate.
the shit out of children. A
Yep.
time to strafe their bodies with white phosphorus.
Yeah.
Burn, burn, burn. Exactly.
To everything.
Burn, 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 burn.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to harmonize on that.
You guys need a whole album,
we
honestly.
do.
I don't know what you're
Daniel.
doing.
What we gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Your powers combined.
Yes,
First a live show, then an album.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. One thing at a time. But yeah, so this was obviously something that I think anyone who has been paying attention knew that one way or the other, the Bibas family was killed. And the reason why we knew that is not just because like, oh, Hamas said so or whatever. It's because why would they say so if they didn't mean it? You know what I mean? It was like clear that they were dead. Now, the question was, of course, when they come back, what is going to be the reason for their demise?
Why the fuck would Hamas keep all these random adults alive?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and most of them in relatively very good condition.
Right. Yeah.
And we'll get to Israel's new claims about now how the Bibas kids died.
Yes.
But why would they do that and murder two of their most valuable bargaining chips
Yes.
and announce it early on?
Yes. 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 It makes no sense.
Or even offer the bodies is a weird one too.
Right.
Like, why would you? It says, okay, I can immediately prove this, and a little bit of a like, you deserve to have these people back, right? Like,
Right.
I don't, that just seems weird to me.
And they're, they're still, of course, because they are, took hostages. The point of hostages is, of course, for them to trade them as bargaining
Yes.
chips. But they were and had been
It was on
offered.
the table.
It was been on the table since November, late November 2023. So it was clear to anyone who was paying attention that this child was dead, that this family was dead, and yet I knew.
And there was a video of the father, which we shouldn't take at face value.
Of course,
any video of a captive
yes,
pleading with their own side. I think it's fair enough to take it with at least a grain of salt. But in it, he said, "Netanyahu, you killed my family." This is from a long time ago. I forget when it was released. Yarden Bibas, right? The father?
That's right. Yeah.
Who has been released.
Yes. And, so to me, the point of all of this was made obvious by the way in which the lead up to the release of the news about whether this family was alive or dead was kind of like presented in the Israeli PR machine, in the Hasbara machine. Because before it was released, there was a bunch of Hasbaras were doing this thing where they would just be like, "Ooh, they better still be alive." This is some random Hasbaras. The Bibas children and the mother better be alive. And then, this was Elon Levy, an entire nation united in love for a baby few of us have ever met, but we all desperately hope is still alive. And then another Elon Levy. Where are they? This is all a few days before the announcement of their death, the official announcement of their death. Because again, November 2023, it was announced they were dead.
Right.
Elon
And I
Levy
knew-
knows full well they're dead.
Of course they know this. And to me, I was like, this is all giving me beheaded babies energy.
Oh, strongly.
Like this, it was just clear from the beginning that, the way that they were using this, the timing of it, everything has to do with this drip, drip, drip of trauma that they do in order to continue to manufacture consent for the death and destruction that they are going to reap upon Gaza.
I was thinking about the phrase manufacturing consent when it comes to Israelis. I don't think it's sufficient. It's manufacturing demand. They already consent.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Israel is not like the United States, where you have a sort of indifferent population that's that if you let them know what their government's doing across the world, they might grumble, "Hey, why isn't that money going to our infrastructure, our jobs?" A population that you don't want to get restive about the oligarchy's priorities in the military-industrial complex. That makes sense in the Western liberal democracy model that Chomsky and Herman were writing about when they wrote manufacturing. When it comes to Israel, the consent is already there. Like, get rid of them, please. Get rid of the Palestinians.
Right.
But it's about manufacturing the bloodlust and the hunger and the urgency and the demand.
Yes.
Let's do it now.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
The drip, drip, drip of trauma is so perfect because there's propaganda for every flavor, every person who is looking at the story. Yeah, it's either, you want the bloodlust or the humanity.
Right.
That's why I must get rid of my humanity. And I'm no longer a liberal who believes in international law. And this is all, it's all okay to do that.
This is, I think for me, I agree completely, Daniel, about Israeli society in terms of they've already consented. It's just a question of, do they have the stomach for it? And Israel likes to.
And they expect that. Wouldn't you expect, if you're sort of all in this collective psychosis, that your government would give you more and more reason to keep believing in said collective psychosis? I mean, all nations are a certain amount of collective psychosis, but Israel definitely takes the cake. And so it's I do think they expect that, right? I think they expect that. Not everyone, but some, so they can keep believing in the lie.
Right.
Believing in this case.
Believing. Don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing. What's it?
Amazing how you just speak here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jesus
It's just right
Christ.
there.
Yeah,
It's crazy
sorry,
like
cut
that. No, but beyond that, it's while in Israel that might be the case, I do think that what drives me fucking nuts is the American Zionist community, the American liberal Zionist community and institutional Jewish community. For them, I agree that they also may have already have consent about it. But to be honest, I do believe that the majority of Hasbara that we have, directed here at Jews in the West is less about that and more about having them continue to consent through their silence, through their ability to compartmentalize anything that has to do with Israel as well. That's another thing, and they should be allowed to do it.
Yeah.
So any momentum that any American liberal who is a Zionist, whether Jewish or not, had towards maybe because Trump is in office, maybe, this is a different, thing. It's a little bit more safe to criticize Israel because it's Trump doing it and not a Democrat doing it. Any momentum they had towards that, they were it was a perfect way of kind of dispersing that and watering it down and going no, just remember to keep that anger, to keep that that traumatic fight or flight response within you, you have to remember that Israel has to do what it has to do no matter what.
Yep.
So you may hate Trump, but hey, don't you speak out yet. Don't you speak out. Just give it a few more months, just a few more months. And that's what drives me fucking crazy. Because at this point, I'm just like, y'all want to be lied to. Y'all want to kill Palestinians, whether you fucking admit to it or not. The fact that you're going to immediately just lap up this fucking fake slop that they just put out in order to get you to lose your own humanity. It's just insane. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
But it's also a way to, you got this week, there was I'm excited for the end of the story because I need to hear more, but you've got the Hamas kiss, not the Hamas kiss, the hostages kiss of the Hamas soldiers. So, it's a very important time to counter those images with some other propaganda.
Yeah. Yeah. But, so to continue with the story, this all came out, and immediately it was the question of like, okay, so what happened? And of course, as we all knew would happen, the Israelis sent out our boy, friend of the pod, Daniel Hagari, to come on and talk about the situation of their death, how exactly they died. And I have the clip of
this
that
was within about 24 hours of receiving the bodies.
Yes. Within 24 hours, this is the video that they did. Daniel Hagari. If you don't remember him, I believe he went into a hospital, looked at a calendar, and said it was a list of hostages.
Yeah, that was fun.
This is a
guy. Of course, you remember him.
This is a guy who famously lies about everything, and of course, this time is different. This time, he's got the truth.
Ariel and Kfir were not killed in an airstrike. Ariel and Kfir Bibas were murdered by terrorists in cold blood. The terrorists did not shoot
Hold on.
boys.
Hold on. You said they weren't killed in an airstrike.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Between that and cold blood?
Between being murdered by terrorists and cold blood. That's exactly what an Israeli airstrike is.
That's right. That's a good point. Yeah. It's like, that's what we said.
You haven't contradicted shit.
Yeah. That's what we said, Daniel.
Cold blood. The terrorists did not shoot the two young boys. They killed them with their bare hands. Afterwards, they committed horrific acts to cover up these atrocities.
And then we're supposed to believe that afterwards, they also then immediately told the Israeli government, hey, this family was killed in an airstrike, and they have just covered it up. And
it was
rather
a prank.
than
Hamas was so disappointed that Israel didn't receive their prank on time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, fucking.
And now, what condition are these fucking corpses in? I don't know. Like, what happens to a body that's been kept in
exactly? I was just thinking
tunnel.
That.
Like, what are you receiving? What remains are you receiving?
Yep.
Like, let's get real specific. Is it more than a skeleton?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you know?
I mean,
how are you doing
what soft tissue is
autopsy? 100%.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know. It's very Trumpian, Israel's propaganda, because because Trump's always like, and by the way, I never slept with the porn star. And it's like, bitch, nobody's talking about that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but I'm just telling you. And it's like, you could just do the propaganda, talk about, the beautiful child with the red hair and move on. And no one's remembering exactly what the story was. It doesn't matter. They were taken hostage and they died while being held hostage.
Right.
You don't have to then come on and dress and be like, by the way, we didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
That's a fucking dead giveaway that you absolutely did.
Yes.
And so again, it's like, just don't mention it.
Well, I mean, that's the perfect distillation of Hasbara. Like, Israeli propaganda is always doth protesting too much.
Yeah,
like everything they're doing is constantly this thing of like, you already have an attack that happened on October 7th.
Right.
You don't need to make up claims about beheaded babies
You have all
and
the lies.
mass rapes. Like, people were already like, damn,
Exactly.
a terrorist attack.
Exactly.
But in truth,
and even if your army bombed them, if we take the context of what the bombing
Right.
was.
Yeah.
Right. When Hasbarists say that Hamas is responsible for the deaths of those kids that they abducted, there's some moral, taken in isolation,
Yeah.
there's some moral validity to that.
Yes. At
Right?
the very least,
Right.
people will buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing is like it's this overselling, and especially like saying something like, you know, they were not shot, they were killed with their bare hands, where you go like, okay, so now I'm really confused here. You mean they choked out the baby? Do you mean they punched it? And rather than explaining to that degree, they're just going to leave it to the imagination so that everyone else will do the horrific job of trying to guess how children died.
Matt, do you have my McNulty tweet?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I got it. It's somewhere.
Well, we don't have to guess how children died. I mean, in the last year, we've seen probably the most horrific ways that children die
Yeah.
in Gaza. By cutting off the electricity to the generators that are keeping their incubators on.
Mhm.
Like, we don't have to imagine all the ways that babies are dying in the womb, out of the womb, right now currently dying by frostbite because of the cold and the refusal of Israel to actually make good on these ceasefire promises. I mean, what's so sick about it, again, it's the most projection ever because we've seen the insane and by the dozens, all the ways that young lives are taken.
Yeah. But if those deaths are not announced by a stern, skinny looking man in camouflage
Flanked by
in front of a
flags.
dark blue background and 2 Israeli flags, then that's
Very
not
well
official.
lit.
Yeah.
He also like continues on. I want to just play this
Yeah.
one part because
go for it.
it's incredibly like revealing of I just of the way in which no matter their attempts to try to sound like they have the moral authority, they can't help but be racist. So this is about, and we talked about this a little bit with I think we talked about this with Laura, but this idea that like, you know, the Hamas sent the wrong body, and we're still I'm still unclear about what exactly happened here, but here's the way he
The
frames
body
it.
that Hamas falsely claimed was Shiri was not hers and not of any other hostage. Instead, Hamas sent over the body of an anonymous woman. This is a further evidence of Hamas' barbaric cruelty.
So I just want to point out through the power of deduction. So if the body is not Shiri's and the body is not any of the Israeli hostages, by the powers of deduction, we can assume that it was a Palestinian woman, or as the Israelis would say, an anonymous woman.
They could have sent away for it from
Yeah.
you know, there's some South American countries that have some
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
very
It's a good
interesting
point.
Etsy's, you know.
It's true. They could have gotten one from Amazon. I got a nice American, maybe an American woman who was killed. But no, it was like so obvious to me. I'm just like, okay, so it was a Palestinian woman. Say it. But they can't say that because then it'll be like, well, wait, how did a Palestinian woman die? Oh, how did tens of thousands of Palestinians die? What do you think?
Right.
You know, it's like, so instead it's just like, oh, some anonymous woman, someone who doesn't matter, somebody that we don't give a shit about.
I'm
Right,
surprised they
exactly.
didn't claim that the woman herself didn't, like, that the woman herself, how do I say this, volunteered to be killed,
Yes.
like a suicide prank. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yes.
Like,
That's
like
more honest
she
to-
signed up for it. Like they paid her
Sure.
family $1 million
Yeah.
to kill her so they could fake Shiri Bibas.
Well, that's
Right.
kind of what he's insinuating. But for me, like, if you're going to propagandize to me, and maybe I'm not the audience, it'd be like you would then say, you know, you'd have some empathy for a woman
Yes.
who was dead.
Yeah.
And humanize her. And we're still looking for her family. And she also
Yeah, we don't know who this is.
You know,
We're-
blah, blah, blah. But you're totally right. It's because if she is Palestinian,
Yeah.
which a word they can't say,
Yeah.
like, they don't care.
Well, right. They're just like, well, you know, whether or not, I don't know what happened with this body. I don't
Right.
know what the situation surrounding it.
Well,
But
they did get Shiri's body a couple of days later.
Yes, they did get
And
Shiri's
Hamas
body.
made a statement saying, if there was a mix-up,
Yeah,
send us back the body.
right.
I don't know how the fuck they've been, what their library card system is for categorizing and filing
Right.
bodies,
Yes. Yeah.
most of which are under rubble.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Jewy decimal system.
Jesus
I'm
fucking
sorry.
Christ.
You've been Daniel brained. You've been Daniel
I'm gonna
pilled.
say that's Adam Bramed. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not
Is
gonna
that
take
Adam
credit
Bramed?
for that.
Okay.
That's an Adam coded joke. That's
the
great.
Jewy decimal system.
See,
Horrible and
for
great.
those of you who don't get it, Dewey decimal system is the pun.
Explaining.
Remember
the
when we had to
comedy.
learn that?
But yeah, so I mean, it is like, you know, to me, it's these like little hints, as if we needed any hints, but it's these little hints of like the constant dehumanization of these people, these
Right.
anonymous people who don't matter.
Bare
You know?
hands too. You know what that means? It means there
they're
was
animals.
skin to skin contact
Yes, they
between
touched.
those animals
Yes.
and our milky white little
Yeah.
carrot cakes.
Yes. Yes. And
Now I want carrot cake.
yeah. And I have to point out, and you know, we've talked about this a little bit, but like this whole, you know, we brought up the redness, the milky whiteness. I mean, is that not the point of this redheaded Hasbara thing? Like this constant, this orange color palette that we're doing, you know, because to me, it's like, what does a ginger evoke? And what it evokes to, I think,
Is whiteness.
is a very, you know, porcelain skinned, freckly skin, whiteness, you know, pale, milky white skin. And, you know, it just shows the sort of racial dynamic, as if there aren't redheaded Palestinians, by the way. I mean, it's fucking
are.
ridiculous. There are. I mean, one
I
of
saw a
the,
picture of a young girl with red hair who was killed early in the genocide.
yeah. And then also, I mean, you know, oh my God, I'm forgetting her name. The one Dina did a book with.
Oh yeah. I had Tamimi.
Yeah, I had Tamimi, redhead. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, that was part of what stood out about her, right? Isn't that? I mean,
Yeah.
And again, like not to play into it because she's amazing. I had so amazing and so brave.
Yeah.
And really used the fact that she had this like wild mane of blonde hair and was like, you know, stepping to a soldier to her advantage. But it's really fucked that like so many people, you know, in the U.S. were paying attention finally because it was like, oh, this. Like beautiful blonde hair, blue-eyed Palestinian, you know, and it's like
What? There's white Palestinians?
Exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
And of course when Palestinians look like that, Zionists love to be like, who's indigenous to this land? And then we'll show you a picture of an Ethiopian Jew or a Mizrahi Jew. Speaking of Ethiopian Jews, did you know that there was an Ethiopian Jewish guy who'd been held in Gaza for the last 10 years
Yes.
and was released last week?
Yes.
I had never heard of him before, and all of a sudden, my feed is full of Zionists being like, "Say his name."
Right.
And there was this crazy story. It was this mentally unwell guy who like climbed the fence and
Yes.
ended up in Gaza.
oh,
and-
that's a great
and-
story.
and-
That's
and-
wild.
and-
also,
And I
think we should-
don't see Israel, you know, waving flags and letting balloons go the color of his.
Yeah, everything should be brown.
dark chocolate
everything
skin.
brown from now on.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. They probably aren't doing it mostly because they did spend the last 10 years being like, we don't care. We won't trade anything for him. They didn't, that's what they didn't want him back. And yeah, but just like this redheaded propaganda to me has been so infuriating. It's just been disgusting. I mean, you see like everything orange. This is the official Twitter account of Israel with a broken orange heart, and then of course they've changed the Israeli flag to be orange themed.
Jesus.
Shiri, Kafir, Ariel. You know, it says right there. And then you know you've got this fucking tweet. All right, so this is from Israel's official account. They posted this. We see you in every redheaded child. Well, not every redheaded child. Once again, there are Palestinian redheads.
We see you When we watch Harry Potter, Ron Weasley.
We see you when
Ron
we watch
Weasley actually is kind of an Israeli sounding name.
When we watch The Sandlot.
Yeah, we see you when we every time we watch a movie starring Yahoo Serious. We see you. We see you.
In Chucky 1,
Yeah, Chucky
2.
1, Child's Play 1, Child's Play.
Whenever we watch a Carrot Top comedy special.
Yes. We see you in the seasons of Showtime's Dexter. Dexter is also a redhead.
We
Life
see
goes
you
on.
in
Corky. Don't
both
forget.
Heli R and Helena Egan. Heli Reish.
Yes. We see you in
Yeah,
every.
there's definitely a massive like Severance / Israeli propaganda crossover episode. You guys just need to like.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've been bringing it in.
Oh,
I took
good.
Matt to the break room a few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Oh, very good.
I was forced to apologize.
And I don't think he meant it.
I didn't. In every fiery sunset, in every orange balloon that drifts towards the sky. What? Shiri, Kafir, and Ariel, we will never forget you. Heart, heart, heart. May their memory be a blessing. Once again, I need to point out before we continue that what I'm laughing at and what we are laughing at is this brazen, disgusting propaganda that is meant to continue the bloodshed of thousands, tens of thousands of children who will continue to die.
Yeah, and that's what they mean by may their memories be a blessing. May their
Yes.
memories be giving us
Yes.
the blessing to continue this shit.
That's
Yes.
exactly right.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
100%. All right. And so here is the video that accompanied
God.
this.
It's AI, isn't
A
it?
mother,
Of course.
2 little boys, kidnapped. We prayed, we begged, but Hamas didn't release them. Hamas murdered them.
A few verbs missing there.
Yeah.
We prayed, we begged. What other actions did we take?
Yeah.
We
bombed.
ignored, we bombed.
Yeah. What's another B?
We murdered.
From today, every redhead will remind us
Jesus Christ.
Hamas murdered them, and Hamas will do it again, unless it's wiped out.
So, I mean, I think nothing is more clear than that as in terms of like what this is for, what this is all about. And it's about this fucking using these children once again to continue killing people, to continue killing,
Even now,
wiping
it's just so
out the Palestinian people.
It's just so like it's brazen to me. Like I wish I was still in touch with all of my liberal Zionist friends to be like,
Yeah.
does this still work on you? Because you know what I mean? Like or connect them
Yeah.
to some sort of like, a lie detector.
Right, yeah.
But like, Hasbara Israeli detector to be like how much palpitations. Because this is really the line that like my friends, one friend in particular was like, Hamas will kill your child.
Yeah, literally.
Named her by name. And I was like, excuse fucking you.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. This is basically like they'll do it again. They'll do it to your children. They're coming for you. They're monsters. They're animals. And this is why what are we at? 45,000 as the
more.
most conservative. But even maybe up to 100,000 innocent people's lives and counting. Like that's worth it.
Yeah,
It's just
is this
and
still
it's about
working
children.
on you?
It's about children, right? That was the whole thing. It had to be
Yes.
about children.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole bare hands thing was just so. It was very beheaded babies. It was like, you have to remember that these are animals that
They did not
Palestinians-
wash their hands.
well, that's what's crazy about the beheaded babies is like they don't care about these people, so I just want to say we can say this.
Yeah.
But you're almost surprised that they didn't like get the body back and we're like, look, the head fell off because they beheaded them. Like,
Yeah.
how do they reverse engineer that the beheaded babies actually happened? You know what I mean?
I know. It's always surprising to me that the lengths they'll go and the lengths that they won't go. You know what I mean? Like.
Right, exactly. Just plant something.
Just plant something. Yeah, plant something. Exactly. But yeah, it is, and in terms of like, the response to this by the Bibas family, I think it says a lot. I think it says a whole lot. This is from Drop Site. The Bibas family sent a cease and desist letter yesterday to Netanyahu and other government offices asking that they stop publishing details of the death of Shiri, Ariel, and Kfir Bibas. If I could say one thing to everyone on behalf of the Bibas family, just shut up, wrote Ofri Bibas, aunt of the deceased kids. She said authorities were yet to complete and share their report on the deaths of the 3 family members. Israeli journalists and government officers have been accused of using the family's plight for propaganda.
No.
You
No,
don't
I do.
say.
I should own that when this aunt says, telling everyone to shut up, that would include us. And
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not, and we are not
100%.
doing that in this episode.
Yeah,
with all these visual gags and all of this
Mhm.
dark humor. So I'll own that. If I'm gonna.
But she hasn't written a cease and desist letter to Bad Hasbara. Now
No,
that
it's
might
true.
be coming, but she straight up had to write a cease and desist letter to the
her own
fucking
government.
Yeah.
to say, please stop using the death, which is still being investigated, and I still haven't gotten a report for all of your propagandistic purposes.
Yeah.
So yeah, she has every right. But no, you guys are not, and we are not the fucking state of Israel.
Yeah, at least not yet. We're still waiting for that sponsorship.
One day.
Yeah. But no, I mean, just like, I can't imagine what it would be like to be a member of the Bibas family at a time when everyone is just like, oh, we're going, it's all orange this season. And it's all red and orange in terms of, trying to continue this fucking bloodletting, to continue this genocide, to continue the appetite of the Israeli people and of American Zionists and the Jewish institutional community in America to continue being like, we are morally correct and right and justified in continuing this genocide, in allowing Trump and allowing the Israeli government to do the Nakba Part 2.
Do we have that cease and desist letter?
Yes, right here.
Yeah. So this is just one little clip of it. The Gray Zone posted this, and this was the part that really stood out to me. Therefore, and although this is an auto translation from the Hebrew, and although this is ostensibly the quote time of opportunity for achieving educational goals, it should be noted that the top priority is the family's well-being, dignity, and privacy. That's a nice way of saying, look, we get it. This is your Hasbara moment,
Right.
but think about us.
Right.
Put it back up for a sec. Although it is surprising that it is necessary to request and emphasize this, underlined, we ask once again and in every language of request that all parties who have an interest in the matter be instructed, especially at this difficult time, not to contact the family nor to speak with any professional party entrusted with conducting the examinations regarding the circumstances of the murder and the condition of the deceased, and this before the Bibas family holds the funeral and the oath-taking, receives the report from the Institute of Forensic Medicine, which will be submitted for further review, etc., etc. We further request that all necessary measures be taken to prevent the dissemination of publications and quote-unquote news regarding the circumstances of the murder of the Bibas family members, regarding their condition, and regarding the examinations. So it's totally unambiguous.
Yeah.
Stop lying about how they were killed.
Yeah. Stop lying about it. Stop speculating about it.
Stop speculating.
Stop using it.
And I mean, like I was saying before, this is the point of Hagari's press conference, is to leave you with no other choice but to speculate if you're interested. If you're sitting watching it and you're going, this guy is saying Hamas murdered a family with their bare hands. You can't help but ask the follow-up question, what does that mean? How?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He specifically points out not a gun is what he says specifically.
I don't know if you saw, there was a tweet that someone posted, some Zionist, with like the alarm alert emoji being like, be careful, be precise. Hagari said with bare hands. He did not say strangled.
Yeah.
Stick to the official story.
Yeah, right.
And I tweeted like, alert, be precise, stick to authorized lies, do not improvise.
Yes.
We have professionals making these things up.
Yes.
also then
we
your
have
mind-
a writer's room.
Your mind starts to like wander even further. Like, oh, they definitely like thwapped him against a wall. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
But that's what they want. They want your mind. They want to
Yes.
implant
Yes.
an infinite, recursive algorithm in your mind that can produce any number of ways. In fact, that way, the Bibas kids were killed millions of times over
Yeah.
in the minds of the millions who were imagining it. And that
Exactly.
maybe is the, I mean, I've never thought this before, but maybe that's the sort of the angle. Let us create the scenes of death in our heads.
Right.
You fill in
More
the blanks
effective.
with the worst possible thing that
Yeah.
you are predisposed to think about Palestinians and their ability to enact cruelty upon children. So whatever you're thinking, yes, that's what happened. Whatever we have to get you to think in order to continue to allow us to do this to tens of thousands of Palestinian children. And it's just like, you know, again, you know, I hate to keep belaboring this point, but man, like the amount of repressed fury I've had for the last fucking week of just being like, I don't want to in any way try to minimize the deaths of this child, these children, this family. And the Israeli government does not give a fuck about that. The Israeli government is like, I don't care. The more you minimize it, the better for us anyways. Because at the end of the day, they don't care about any children. They don't care whether they're Israeli children or they're fucking Palestinian children. They only care about meeting their end goal.
Right. And it's also the other thing is like they can use and weaponize the deaths of these children the way they want to. They can disrespect the wishes of the family the way they want to.
Yes.
But if you use the deaths of these children to make a broader point about occupation, genocide, that they should never have been taken in the first place, given the situation, all that, the conditions in Gaza, you're the one who's weaponizing and how dare you, and you're evil and sick and twisted. And so they're also kind of waiting for people, I mean, obviously this podcast, but like people to like step out, you know, and or say something online that like, yeah, I'm sure, Daniel, you took heat for like saying that, you know, stick to the propaganda points that we already know of.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, how could you laugh at these children? It's like, because you guys do it every single day.
Yeah. And, you know, you're seeing that, I think, you know, we got to cut to commercial, but just to wrap up, you know, you're seeing that already with, there's a cat.
It's not a tabby cat? You couldn't have brought an orange cat on today?
Yeah,
Francesca, what the
sorry.
fuck?
Shitty, you gotta be orange today.
With like,
Ooh, she farted.
all right. Anyways, point I was going to make was that
Good cover, Matt. Good cover.
You're seeing this everywhere, you know, in terms of like people wearing orange and them wearing orange is to tell you to shut your fucking mouth. You know, Hassan was talking about this in his stream recently, the Bibas kids and whatnot. And, you know, the ghouls at H3 immediately started saying, you know, oh, it's evil for you to talk about this, to laugh about this. And of course, Gila, who was serving the IDF, was wearing orange.
Oh my God.
And, the cat really did fart. So we're going to,
oh no.
we are going to take a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we will be coming back even more red than ever. What?
I'm going to let her out.
We'll be right back. And we're back. This is Bad Hasbara, world's most moral podcast. I'm here with the world's most moral wife, my wife, Francesca Fiorentini.
Hello.
How you doing?
Fine.
Good. And here,
You guys are cute.
Are we?
Tall and cute.
Yeah, we're definitely
One
cute.
tall, one cute.
One tall, one cute.
No, you're pretty. I remember
You're
you as
tall.
being certainly taller than me, Francesca, which is not hard to pull off.
There we go. Because I'm glad you said it, not me.
Wait, no, but how tall are you, Francesca?
I'm 5'7.5".
Oh, wait
Yeah.
a minute. Okay, you're not that tall.
I was gonna say she's not that tall.
That's okay. That is above average for a woman.
It is
I
above
think of you
average
as
for-
statuesque.
Yes.
Oh, thank
yeah.
you. No, I will be. So Matt is very proportional. If you've ever seen a photo of him,
If you know what I mean.
no,
If you know what I mean.
no,
If I know what I mean.
nope.
Okay.
And
know what
so
you mean.
when when I'm standing next to him in a photo, people are like, wow, I didn't realize you were like really short, Francesca. I didn't realize you were like 5 feet. And it's like, fucking no. It's just Matt doesn't look tall in photos because he doesn't look lanky. He just looks like normal height. And then you meet him and you're like, oh, I get it. He's actually a fucking Yeti.
Yeah, people can't really tell from just looking at me. Like you need a banana for scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
you need something for scale.
Sure.
Francesca. Yeah, if we could see the lower half of you, Francesca's sitting on a bar stool and Matt is sitting cross-legged on the floor.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm crisscross
Our daughter
applesauce.
is the size of like a 5-year-old already.
Yeah. She's.
I picked her up the other day. She goes,
gigantic.
I'm too heavy.
She's right. She is way too heavy. So we need to talk about some more Hasbara, and we have it. This is something that happened recently. CPAC happened. If you don't know what CPAC is, it is like a conservative political action committee or whatever. It is like every year the Republicans and the Nazis all get together and they have like a meeting of the minds.
Gentlemen, too evil.
Yeah, glug glug. They're just drinking blood. Whenever I see pack, I eat it. Thank you, Adam. But let's see. Yeah,
Well,
so
CPAC is what hip hop conspiracy theorists do everywhere.
that's right. Yeah,
They see Pac around every corner.
They see Pac, in
He's still
Cuba.
alive.
Still alive. Not Notorious B.I.G.
Don't give CPAC any ideas. They will bring back the hologram of Tupac at
Yeah.
their next convention.
Yeah, they'll make Tupac Sieg Heil. So recently, the CPAC thing happened, and then Steve Bannon, who is the guy who used to run Breitbart or something like that, and now he runs the Trump War Room. Which is now he's a podcaster. He was in the first Trump administration, and he is a open fascist essentially. And he ended his speech with another Nazi salute. Now this one wasn't full on Elon Musk style. Like he didn't
pound the chest.
Yeah, he didn't get all neurodivergent with it.
But it was very intentional.
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
just say, like, it wasn't a goodbye. He even had a little bit more to say after he did it. So it was very, very intentional.
Yeah, and immediately we had the same discourse as the last time this happened, but with Elon Musk, in which, like, to no one's surprise, all of the pro-Israel, all of the like Zionist conservative contributors were all just like, well, listen, some people do like things with their hands, and it's not a big deal. What is a big deal is all of these kafiyas on college campus. Like it's just a repeat of the same bullshit where we're like meant to, we're meant to like not worry about any, fascists in the White House as long as they're pro-Israel. And I think in general the kind of the way in which that has been talked about is kind of gives up the ghost a little bit about what's important to a lot of these Israelis and Zionists, which is that, like, I don't give a shit if you hate if you guys elected actual Hitler, as long as at the end of the day we get all of the land. I don't give a fuck.
Well, actual Hitler would be one of the world's biggest allies of Israel.
100%.
Indeed.
Actual Hitler would be like, oh, all right, sick. We're in the same boat here, buddy.
I mean, Mike
he's the
Huckabee-
ultimate NIMBY when it comes to Jews.
Yes.
Exactly.
Completely.
The lightest thing you could say about him.
Yeah. Not in my boneyard.
No, I mean, Mike Huckabee is probably going to be confirmed. People should still try to speak out against his confirmation.
Oh, yeah.
But he's a Christian Zionist, and he's all about. I mean, I'm really waiting for this next plan of Hasbara not Hasbara, but of
war.
land grab and
Yeah.
the war to involve American Jews. Truly,
Yeah.
These are psychos who believe that all Jews shouldn't be here, and it's the reason that. When Trump won the first time, there were Nazis celebrating not only with Sieg Heils, but I remember, and we covered this for Newsbroke, but Jewish headstones were toppled in elation.
Yeah.
That is what fucking happened.
Yeah.
And you're just like, we're supposed to not take this seriously because because Trump is a friend of Israel.
Right. Yeah.
It's so sick. And then, I don't know how much you're going to talk about, but, Barry Weiss is out here pushing her article that came out on the Free Press.
Yeah.
I think it's Hananiah's article.
This is Richard.
Right, not her article, but Hananiah's article.
Right, on her publication. And Hananiah writes, these stiff-arm salutes are not expressions of sincere Nazism, but of an oppositional culture that, like a rebel band that keeps wearing fatigues after victory, has failed to realize it's no longer in the opposition. Which is just a lot of bullshit speak for they're just doing memes.
Yes.
They're doing memes and they're just trying to troll the libs.
Yes, that article is basically they're trying to troll, but that quote is particularly chilling. They're just dressing up and, pretending their victory was just fresh. And it's number one, they lost. The Nazis lost.
Yeah, right.
But then what does he say at the end there? Sorry. And realize it's no longer in the opposition, which would purport you presume that they're no longer in the opposition, meaning they run shit, that the Nazis, you don't even have to Sig Heil anymore because you've gained control of government.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I kind of agree. It's not sincere, full-blown Nazism. It's a bunch of callous, very emotionally immature assholes with dangerous ideas who think the Nazis are kind of funny, cool, mysterious, alluring something.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And who think
which is enough for me to be like, they're unappetizing folks.
Right.
Well, there's such a fine line between the irony and just being irony pilled and we're all doing this for the lulz, and then you're actually just Sig Heiling. Bannon is a Nazi.
Well, and
Elon is a Nazi.
Yes.
These two people are definite Nazis. Maybe the rest of them, the fanboys online, who knows?
No. They're Nazis, but I think the thing is they have one thing that makes them go how dare you call us Nazis? And it's the same thing that Israelis have, which is that you can only be a Nazi if you hate the Jews, or if you hate Jews who are right-wing, who are in Israel. Those are the only times that you can be a Nazi. There's no other definition of Nazism other than hating Jews. If you take the exact same belief system that the Nazis had about, cultural and genetic superiority over a people, and you just apply it instead of Jews to Muslims, you are no longer a Nazi in the eyes of these right-wing psychopaths. The interesting thing about Bannon is that Bannon is willing to take it a step further, in which he still is able to call Jews Nazis, but he does it from the sort of a backwards, an inverted vantage point of they're Nazis because they go against Israel. And I have this incredible video that I think a lot of us shared around because we were just wow, he just went out and said it.
He admitted.
He admitted, and here it is.
Where are you from? I was born in Jerusalem. Folks from USSR, so they've experienced real socialism. My question is to you is this: what do you think about foreign aid to Israel? Is it a strategic partnership?
Israel is a partner of the United States, but people in Israel got to understand something. The number one enemy to the people in Israel are American Jews that do not support Israel and do not support MAGA. Okay, MAGA and the evangelical Christians and the traditional Catholics in this country have Israel's back. They have the Jews' back. The biggest single enemy to the Jewish people are not the Islamic supremacists. The biggest enemy you have is inside the wire. Progressive Jewish billionaires that are funding all this stuff. They are the number one enemy, and the people in Israel have to set that right. Because MAGA has your back, traditional Catholics have your back, and evangelical Christians have your back. We will always have the back of Israel. But I got to tell you, you have an enemy inside the wire.
I mean, he's right.
He's not wrong in terms of
he's morally wrong. He's on the wrong side.
Right.
But evangelical Christians do have Israel's back.
Yes.
The
traditional Catholics, I guess, whatever the fuck that means.
Tradition.
Yeah, I
That
don't
just
know.
means fucking MAGA.
That just means we hate the current pope and we hope he dies.
Right.
Trad Caths. Yeah.
No, but what's so fucking insane, number one, again, calling all liberal Zionists, please send that to all of your friends. I reach back out to them, unblock them, and just send them that video and see what's going on. Again, let's hook them up to the polygraph right there. But it also is like, this is what Trump has been saying. He's been shaming Jews.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe you wouldn't vote for me. And And I think it's also kind of, doesn't that make you guys feel proud? Doesn't it make you feel proud to be like, okay, so we are American Jews as they have been in, definitely in the last 10 years. I mean, I think really leading and joining Palestinian, Arab, and Muslim Americans in the fight for free Palestine. Like you should feel proud that you guys are seen as like, damn, the little chink in the armor, the thing we haven't figured out, the people we can't fully corrupt and we can't brainwash.
Yeah. Well, I think it gives away what I've been saying, from the beginning, which is that like, this is the reason why American Jews should be speaking out, because he's pointing out the thing that they have said they're afraid of for a long time, which is the fact that younger leftist or progressive or whatever liberal Jews more and more are just like, what is Israel? They seem bad. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And more to the point, it goes against their Hasbara narrative, which is that Jews are a monolith who all support Israel, save for a couple.
It's also super Islamophobic. Also, I love how he's like, nah, it's not even really about, Muslims and Arabs and Palestinians. Yeah. It's really about the Jews. I mean, it kind of plays into the Great Replacement theory stuff. It plays into anti-Semitism broadly. It's really about, powerful Jews who might, which like, what are there, two? I don't know.
He's talking about George Soros.
He's talking about Soros, and that's fucking it,
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I wish there were more of these people who actually had money to support, a free Palestine.
Yes. I wish the anti-Zionist Jewish billionaires that they believe exist actually did
exactly
exist.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a Jewish billionaire class, you could say, but it's more the Bill Ackman type than
yes, right.
George
Yeah,
Soros
it's
type.
the Sheldon Adelson type, and Miriam Adelson type. I mean, it's just like the Zionism is intrinsically linked to, it's as a belief system to like sort of the more upper elite class of anything. Whether you're Jewish or not. If you're a billionaire, your belief system is going to be very similar to that of a Zionist.
Yeah, who are the Jewish billionaires who are going to Congress and being like hands-off university free speech?
Right. Yeah.
God,
exactly.
If only.
Yeah. So, but it's just so interesting seeing it from Bannon, because what Bannon is doing there, I mean, it's as close as you can possibly get to just like doing Nazi talking points, but while still believing yourself to be not the Nazi. And that's the thing about.
That's what I mean about. Sorry, he's just in the you guys are in the way of this ethnic cleansing.
Right.
It's the biggest propagandistic hole that they cannot figure out how to fill. And that's what I mean about being super Islamophobic, because Palestinians are completely secondary, third, fourth, fifth. They are not even human. They don't matter. We have to ethnically cleanse them. That's the project.
Yeah.
It's the Jews who are in the way. The American Jews.
It's a compliment and it's dangerous incitement at the very same time.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's, I think for me, what I've always kind of like felt about this whole thing is like, as much as when I see Nazi salutes, like, the thing inside of me, the automatic trauma response trigger is just like, oh, fuck, worry about myself and about, the Jewish community. You can't look at the last 16 months, what's gone on in, Israel without realizing that at the end of the day, the way that it works, at least in the West, in the United States, is that, if the Jews are ever in danger, all that means is they've already wiped out the Arabs. They've already wiped out the migrants from Latin America. They've already killed all the trans people. By the time it gets to the Jews in the United States, a lot of other discrete and insular groups have already been murdered. And you know what I mean? So it's like, it's for me, I look at the Bannon, clip and I go like, he just sees and is saying out loud what is, said quietly within Israel and within Zionist spaces, which is like these fucking anti-Zionist Jews, these fucking progressive Jews are fucking up our Hasbara.
Yeah.
And I think maybe
claim
he's
this.
saying, look, we would really rather not have to mess with stoking anti-Semitic hate crimes ourselves. We're hoping some Zionists, some Beitar people can take care of it for us.
Yes.
This is an internal matter.
Yeah. Yes.
Can you clean house?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to give anyone any ideas, but
yeah,
I mean, in this,
no, they're saying come get your boys and do that in whatever way you deem necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also like it's only been a month since Trump's been in office, and I am someone who, look, if there are liberal Zionists who it takes Donald Trump doing everything so much more ham-fisted, meaning the same amount of death and destruction and annexation of the West Bank, but without the sort of hand-wringing and the like, we feel bad for every life lost.
Right, and the lying about them trying not to do that.
I say so be it, you know what I mean? If we can, in 5 years, have people with influence and money, giving to, pro-Palestine, anti-Zionist causes, good, because it's the only way, to Matt's point, that you're going to fight the fascist right anyway, is to stop fucking selling people off and making these strange bedfellow strange bedfellows in the service of people who ultimately want you exterminated anyway. And so I just...
Yeah, I completely agree.
We'll see.
I my feelings about this are pretty much identical, which is that like I as much as I am going to make fun of people who finally come around, and as much as I will question their motivation, and whether or not they actually do care or this is just like the price of eggs to them.
Sure.
I welcome any of these liberal motherfuckers to go and march on the street and say fucking free Palestine and do whatever they can to try to stop the ethnic cleansing in Gaza. Like,
yeah, if you have to protest Israeli hegemony in a pussy hat, so be it.
Go ahead. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I mean, technically Code Pink kind of already does that, so I just want to point
true.
that out.
It's kind of the amazing thing about Code Pink is they're very liberal coded, but they are
radical
not
as fuck.
They're radical as shit.
I don't know about you guys. This Bannon thing, it's chilling.
Yeah.
But my reaction to it, I have to say, I had more of a visceral shudder when Biden at his White House Hanukkah party said, if it weren't for Israel, I wouldn't be able to keep all you Jews safe. I wouldn't be able to guarantee your safety.
Yeah. Not a Jew in the world is safe without Israel. Yeah.
Right. Not a Jew in this room, not a Jew in this country, not a Jew in this city. So again, it's like pick your poison.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and then remember till the very end when Blinken had, I forgot the journalist's name, hauled out of the press conference. And in the press conference, Blinken said that he keeps the names of the hostages in his lapel.
Right.
I was chilled because I was like, oh, we've been fucked with this administration.
Yeah.
By the way, did you guys talk about how there's going to be an Iron Dome for America? I feel like you don't give enough credit to the fact that Trump is actually delivering. All right. Executive order, January 27th, 2025. The Iron Dome for America.
Oh,
all right.
This sounds very exciting. I've always wanted my own Iron Dome.
For the past 40 years, rather than lessening the threat from next generation strategic weapons, has become more intense and complex with development by peer-to-peer near adversaries. I feel like this is going to be an Israeli thing. Is Israel going to get the defense contract?
Well, it's all usually our defense contractors, right?
Within 60 days, defense of the United States against ballistic, hypersonic, active, advanced cruise missiles. Okay, where's the dome part? Where's the dome?
Well, that is the dome.
Oh, right.
The dome
it's not
is the
physical.
missiles hitting the missiles.
I always forget. I always forget it's not a, in my mind, it's always the Simpsons movie.
It's Biodome.
God damn it! Where's the dome? I'm like, fuck, this sucks. I'm such a MAGA chud reading this.
You're scrolling through looking for a
Where's
dome.
the word dome? So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get a new missile defense shield,
which is just Star Wars. It was Reagan's
I think we need to
idea.
read out Adam's joke.
Oh, please. What was it? The only Iron Dome is when a Ninja Turtle gets a BJ from Shredder. Thank you, Adam. That was beautiful. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, we're going to get an Iron Dome. That's fine. The problem with us having an Iron Dome is we're not attacked by missiles enough. So what's going to end up happening is we're just like, can we test it on Ciudad Juarez?
That's exactly right.
And then, yeah.
Here, Saskatchewan, fire this at us.
Yeah, no, just real quick, just for a test. Don't worry about it.
Just real quick.
Oh, no.
No, it's just for pretend.
Yeah.
No, we won't take it seriously at all.
Oh, fuck. We accidentally wiped out Newfoundland. Newfoundland. Before we get out of here, there's a couple of Israel AIs that I want to do for our wonderful segment. You know it. You love it. I'm Yisrael AI. Picture of a lion with an Israeli flag. And a picture of Hamas as an octopus or a bug. I'm Israel High. I'm Israel High. I'm Israel AI. Israel AI.
Oh my God, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on. So
this
we
is
have
probably our best segment because the stories in this are always just so wonderfully artificial and just out there and they're like Hasbara pushed to the limits not only of the human imagination but like human imagination.
I mean, human existence. They're pushing the limits of existing humans.
Isn't ChatGPT like kind of anti-Zionist though? Like,
occasionally,
occasionally,
we just did
on our last episode with Lara Gazengirl, we read out a very interesting ChatGPT answer to the prompt: "Is Zionism a psychosis?" And there was a very, very interesting psychopolitical discussion of that. But
no, it was really good, and it was
just like cribbed from Edward Said.
It was clear that sometimes ChatGPT reads some really good shit. And does a pretty good job, pretty good job. But so there's a few different AI videos and things. I mean, so one is Matisyahu is out here.
Rav Trent, as I call him.
Yeah, Rav Trent.
Bing, 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 bong, bing.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Whoa.
My bumper clot, Ema.
Yeah. The nation of Israel is alive. Brup, brup, bumbo clot. All right. So.
Wait, is that what he does? Does he actually do reggae?
Yes.
Like Zionist reggae?
Well, it wasn't Zionist before. It was just kind of like
Hasidic. It was Hebraic.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it was.
Which is not such a stretch. Babylon and all this. Reggae is very Old 100%. Testament influence. Exodus.
There's also discussion of Israel, right?
Yeah. I mean, but like he
not
was
the same.
He was
Israel.
doing
the Israelites. That's an old
reggae and. Yeah, reggae and Zionism, they do go together accidentally.
Right.
But yeah, so Matisyahu, who is no longer Hasidic, but has replaced his Hasidism with his Zionism. Hasidim, but I don't believe him. The nation of Israel is alive. Love is the ingredient that we hold on to. We will not forget. We will not forgive.
I love those two sentences. Love is the ingredient that we hold on to. We will not forget, and we will not forgive.
Yeah, I mean, schizophrenic to say the least.
Love isn't forgiveness. Nobody's ever said that.
Yeah, no one has ever said that. I mean, if they had, they're probably Christian.
There's this one Jew who said it.
Yeah, he's no longer Jewish because he's son of God. The Lion of Judah is rising through this chapter of pain. It is time to meet our fate in the garden. Eternity is burning.
This caption is AI generated.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is just like the most emo fucking poem from like Hebrew school.
Eternity is burning?
Eternity is burning. King David is within each and every one of us. Fan the flame. AI visuals by at Tropland Universe. Okay, so now we're going to get a little bit of the AI visuals from our boy Matisyahu. And if I
Kiss, kiss.
He's kissing. All right, so he's
The music though.
so
That's his music.
That's his music.
I know.
It's AI Matisyahu playing with a lion who is the Lion of Judah, and he's like kissing it on its nuzzle. Here, the new Lion King movie is way worse than I remembered. Yes, he's gonna fuck this lion.
Oh my god.
He's gonna fuck this lion.
This is like a song that's playing in a cafe in a tourist trap.
Yeah, this
That
is.
you're like, whose son or whose this cafe is Israeli owned.
Yeah,
And they're playing this awful song on loop.
that is a song you hear while you're being pickpocketed at a tourist location.
That is
You've reached the
insane.
office of Daniel Hagari.
Yeah.
We cannot take your call right now. Please enjoy this hold music.
Oh my god!
And the frolicking of those images with him and that lion.
It's just.
So what's the
at one
obsession
point-
with the
Very.
lion?
Well, because it's like the Lion of Judah,
Judah had
the
a li- I don't
the
know.
Lion of Zion. Everything I know about lions in Zion
Lion of Zion.
has to do with reggae.
Yeah,
Right.
Iron Lion Zion. is what
Yes.
Bob Marley
That's
said.
right.
Yeah, and
Great
so I'm not sure if lions and Judah are more put together in like Old Testament or if it's mostly just a Rastafarian thing.
Was Marley a Zionist?
No, he's just Ras.
He's just Ross.
He's a Rasta.
Was the state of Israel? I guess it was around. Okay, well that's for another episode. I'm just fascinated by that.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you Peter Tosh was not.
Yes,
yeah.
Peter Dodge definitely not. When he said legalize it, he was talking about Palestinians.
Yeah,
Um,
that was amazing.
yeah,
I just how much fresh water was used for
I know.
that.
I know. It's like an entire village is now going
Like a whole-
All right,
thirsty.
all right,
Yeah.
explain to me what the fuck AI has to do with fresh water or natural resources. I don't understand this connection.
So in order to cool down the processors, the
Yeah.
computer processors that create AI images,
Yeah.
somehow fresh water, not salt water, has to be used to cool down the processors because that's how fast they're sort of churning and working. And that's why
Oh,
water
My
is used
fucking God.
to create everything AI.
Yeah. It's an insanely
I'm thirsty.
yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
This
Matisyahu,
Garfield needs 3 titties.
Matisyahu's lion
Matisyahu has to tame the lion.
Yeah.
needs to go for a walk.
Yeah, Matisyahu needs to ride a lion and you know kiss it and stuff, but not in a sexual way. He would never do that. Yeah. So
Fuck Israel. Humanity doesn't have the right to exist at this point.
I know.
I'm
The whole
so
thing.
with that.
Earth does not have a right to exist. I said it, or at least the humans on the earth. The lions, the real lions, can live. Another AI slop for all of us is this was on. Well, let me start with something else. No, I'm going to have to do this. It is. This just came out on Truth Social.
Yep.
This is the what do you call it?
Oh, is this Trump Gaza?
Trump Gaza.
Oh, this
yeah.
is delightful.
Yeah, so this literally just came out, and I am like, well, you'll see for yourself. It is an AI created video of what Trump Gaza will be.
Lyrics
right.
of fire.
Gaza 2025. What's
next? And then so you see the
Walking
destruction
through
of Gaza.
tunnels of rubble, but towards beautiful skyscrapers.
Yes, and you see that like all of the rubble is now turned.
I'm sorry.
into...
Is this child have like missing a limb?
That child is missing a limb,
Yeah.
but that could just be an
That
AI.
could just be
thing.
AI, or
Yeah.
it could be reality.
But they are leaving tunnels, by the way. Oh, there it is.
Bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more
Elon
fear.
Musk eating some kind of canapé, or what is that on the beach?
I don't know. It looks like he's got a bread bowl of hummus and sourdough.
Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining.
Okay. There's like seriously though, we have to watch this like 10 times because there's way too much
There's
here.
a lot going on now. There's a giant balloon of just the head of Trump made of gold and held by a child. Trump's
nice
balloon-
Palestinian representation in this.
Yeah.
The people of Palestine are being shown.
Are you hearing the music? No more tunnels. No more fear.
Yes.
Trump,
Yeah.
Gaza is finally here.
Yeah.
Some belly dancers. That's authentic.
Okay, so the belly dancers are very particular because it seems like they are Hamas fighters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's go to the belly dancers. Hold on. Okay, so here's
Elon Musk eating bread bowl. They
my God.
seem to be Hamas fighters, but they are women.
Are they women? That
Are they trans Hamas?
Yeah, this is trans
that
Hamas.
is trans Hamas. They are Hamas belly dancers with beards,
Long beards and boobies.
a lot.
Drag
went in-
terrorist story hour.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Which I thought they
Hated, but now there's a
it's
place for
see.
them.
This is
Ooh, it's
But
inclusive.
they're not infected with the woke mind virus.
That's right. So also, the Hasbara is, of course, that Gazans hate trans people, hate
Right.
gay people. They hate, they misspelled their prompt trans Hamas.
Yeah.
Yeah. They meant psy-trans, not
Yeah.
trans. No, but it's like, they're like, no, see, then the Israelis will get all their weird gay stuff. That's why we support Israel, because they like all the trans gay stuff. It's okay for them to do that if it is an excuse to murder Palestinians.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good reading of this because I think I saw this and I think a lot of people are like, this has got to be a mistake. They just didn't even watch their own video that
Yeah.
they put out. But it
Mhm.
could also just be, number one, it's like clearly degrading.
Right.
And or like, oh, you can be gay in the new Gaza.
Right. In the new Gaza, you can be gay and trans. We'll just, we'll be mad about it in the United States. It's just so like the Hasbara is schizophrenic. So you,
Right.
you can't.
And you can't blame AI for getting it
Yeah,
wrong.
you can't blame AI for being like, I don't know, dog. I'm just trying to follow your logic. Your logic.
I'm
says-
just trying to give you your fantasy. Obviously, it's skyscrapers and eating bread bowls on the beach, and clearly,
Look.
you're hot as shit for Hamas, and we've all known that.
It's a Riviera, right?
Mm,
They
That's
need
right.
a concubine class, and
Yeah,
tourists
exactly.
have a lot of different tastes.
That's right. That's right. Business is business.
It's finally here.
All right.
Trump Gaza shining bright. Golden
God,
future.
there's
a brand new
yachts.
life.
There's yachts and beaches and everyone.
so evil.
It looks like a resort. And there's Trump. Now he's still a chunky man, and he's talking to some hot Israeli or
No, it looks like a belly dancer.
is it a belly dancer? Elon is throwing money up on the beach because Elon's got money. Oh my God, I didn't even notice this. He's throwing the money at the children.
Yeah.
If you just let us ethnically cleanse Gaza, then we will give the children some money. We'll throw it at them like the way you throw bread at birds in the park.
Trump Gaza number.
Okay, and now we're getting into Trump Gaza, a hotel. The hotel that he's going to open up.
Trump Gaza shining bright.
Elon
More
again.
dipping. Yeah. Elon dipping something. More bread. Yeah.
More bread dipping
A Saddam Hussein-like statue to Donald Trump.
of Donald Trump, making him
Solid gold.
solid gold and maybe like 200 feet tall. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Brand new.
Trump. Okay, so now this is what the Trump Gaza gift shop. So you can buy multiple Donald Trumps sitting or standing, made of solid gold. Yeah, this looks like if you want to buy some gold, this is still the gift shop. All right, and here's
More
Elon Musk
walking.
walking.
Elon's lost weight in this AI though. Trump is still a fat slob.
Yeah, I like that because
And I
like-
love that
not
Trump
fair.
is the one who posted it.
Yeah. Trump doesn't see. Trump is someone who doesn't. He knows what he looks like, and he thinks that's hot. Whereas Elon is the most insecure man in the world, and he's just like, "No, could you make?"
And
me
I think
skinny?"
he also just admires the creativity. He's like, "Oh, look, someone made this, and it's generally
Yeah.
positive." Like,
Yeah.
He just
good
retweets.
job.
Yeah, this is like he saves like,
He's like the Montessori teacher of MAGA. Like,
Yeah.
just encourages his people to just express
just be
themselves.
creative, express yourself,
Right.
have fun out there. Except for if it's his own kids.
Yeah,
He's like, this
Sure.
is he only praises your macaroni art if you are someone who voted for him.
The deal is done.
Okay.
This is the best one.
All right, now this is Trump and Bibi laying beachside drinking
Corpulently.
cocktails.
Titties out for genocide.
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Titties out
straight up, just
for
straight
G-side. Look
tiggy
at it.
biggies. Trump Gaza right behind them, and it looks like they're having the time of their life.
You know what though? I'm gonna call it. Number one, I love how his left hand, unless if you play it, it emerges. But Trump doesn't drink, so this looks like an alcoholic beverage, and I'm just gonna say that
He might be having a version. It could be.
I was gonna correct him. It might be a spiked kombucha.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't drink, but I like it anyway.
Trump Gaza, number one.
All right, and
Okay, guys, but this is worse than Biden. All right, not in action.
It's a matter of it's a matter of taste.
it's a matter of taste.
It's a matter of taste. I'm sorry. This is energetic. It's colorful.
It's optimistic.
It's creative. It's
Yes.
optimistic.
And it's also not a lie. And
It's not a lie.
And I think that's always been the
Exactly.
clash, is that Trump is just like, no, let's break it down and do ethnic cleansing, and then we'll turn it into a casino. And Biden is like, oh, geez, we're doing the best we can.
It's also gonna convince no one.
right.
Well, sure.
Right.
Like I could stand to be corrected on this. I could eat my words. But this is the kind of thing. It's just like, hey, here's a fantasy I had that
Right.
made me feel good. Like this is not a political program.
But for
And
me,
no
again,
one-
back to the liberal Zionists, like, would it convince them that, like,
Right. Would it have the opposite effect? Would it convince
Well-
them that, like, maybe
this is awful, and you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
like, this is clearly wrong, and it's so degrading. But I will say, to your point of creativity, like, at least Trump is like painted an end game and
Yeah.
an end goal.
where people are happy.
yeah.
Right, where people somehow are happy.
Yeah.
You know, the ones aren't.
It'll be
who aren't
better
living
this way.
in the Sinai Desert in tents.
Yeah.
That'll
you
be
know.
Trump Sinai #1.
Yes.
That's the next video. Wait for it, Francesca.
Oh God.
I mean,
yeah.
as far as the liberal Zionists go, if Twitter is any indication, which it probably isn't, but you see people like my boy Shael Ben
Shael.
Ephraim,
Shout out.
horrified by
him.
all this stuff and trying to be like, this is why we need liberal Zionism.
Yes.
Because this is crude, this is crass, and he's been posting things that really affirm Palestinian humanity in the face of this kind of shit.
Right.
And a lot of sort of more moderate Palestinians and him having a little love in, like,
Yeah.
thank you for standing with us. And he's like, yeah, this is what's possible if you combine your love of Israel with liberal values. He's really trying to make a go of it. And then we see, I don't know if we're doing this today or in a different episode, but the far right groups like Beitar coming out and calling him and Shai Davidai soy boys and all this
Yes.
kind of stuff. The Zionist infighting, the new fault line, I'm finding it really fun to watch.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
Because
I
you're
love it.
watching liberal Zionists make this impossible comeback.
Yes.
That's just not going to succeed, but they think they have a moral upper hand because it's so crass and gross and obvious.
Right.
And then you have right-wing Zionists coming in being like, yeah, shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
nerd.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
time for you has passed. I think
Yeah.
everyone realizes that.
Right. They're like, it's over for you, soy boys. We out here being Nazis out loud.
And each of them is correct in their own very limited
Right.
and hopeless way.
Yes, in their own narrative and in their entire justifications for whatever they're holding, whether it's liberal Zionism or like right-wing fascist, Nazi Zionism, they're not wrong just in whatever way that they are justifying it. They're wrong morally. They're wrong in terms of like the realities.
But what do you mean they're right in their own way?
Well,
Well,
they're not wrong about each other.
Yes, about
The
each other,
right-wing
yeah.
Zionists are
Yes.
correct that the liberal Zionists are feckless soy boys.
Yes.
Whatever that term means, but
Sure.
what that term connotes
Yeah.
is a kind of toothless hypocrisy,
Yes.
a kind of
Yeah.
half measure unwillingness to come out and say what you are, a kind of cowardice, right, and a kind of dishonesty. The liberal Zionists are not wrong that the Beitarniks are dangerous psychopaths, right?
Yes, that they are
But
fascist.
neither of them
right-wing.
has any self-awareness.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're just continually pointing the finger at each other, and continually never allowing themselves to self-reflect
Because if they true self-reflection would mean waking up out of Zionism entirely.
right, and
That's
that's
just
a bridge
how it
too
is.
far.
I mean, it's it's great. Back to Trump, like, it's just like that is so far off his whatever evil dream, things would have to be so much even worse than the last 16 months, of course. Even more egregious and even more stark. And I'm just like terrified of what I'm hoping this is all just bluster and in his head.
I mean,
I don't think so. I mean, I mean, Israel's seems like it's waiting for the pretense to go back in.
yeah.
Or waiting, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either. I think that it's
Well, I mean, you've got incursions into the West Bank like we haven't seen, right? In a
no,
really
right.
long time.
I mean, in terms of like, it is obviously it's bluster, but I think there's one thing that, we've seen. It's that, Israel is going to do whatever it wants to do. And, international community be damned. And Trump is just going to be out there openly front facing supporting, rather than, doing the fake hand wringing and the fake crying of the Blinken State Department. And so what changes there? I'm not really sure, other than the Overton window changing for what is allowed for a president to say about whether or not Palestinians have the right to live. But, I will say the other change there could be that American liberals will finally, be able to say out loud that Israel is an apartheid state carrying out a genocide and ethnic cleansing, the likes of which we have not seen.
Yeah, I mean,
American liberal Zionists, sound off in the chat if you dare.
Yeah.
No, but for real though, I mean, every time you see Trump doing something like this, I get it from all sides. Basically, a bunch of libs who are mad at me because they think that I wasn't out there telling people to vote for Kamala Harris, and of course, radicals are mad at me because I was telling people to vote for Kamala Harris.
Right.
And you're like, hey, there's a massive fracture in the Democratic Party caucus base over this issue. How about we just stop with war and militarism?
Right.
It's never served us.
Right.
And it's unpopular
Yeah.
writ large. Can we do that? And that should be the litmus test, including Palestine, should be a litmus test for any Democrat going forward. I sadly don't think it will be, but I think it's on us to make sure it is.
Well,
And this is
that's one area where Steve Bannon actually said an unironically good and sensible thing last week or the week before. He's like, if you're serious about being all Doge-pilled, cross the Potomac, go to the Pentagon. That's where the majority of wasteful
and they are now. They're just they're firing military lawyers. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm a big interrupter. They're firing military
I actually
lawyers.
interrupted you to get that point in. So take it back. Okay. Take the power back, girl.
It's just so gross because they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna fire the woman and the black guy.
Yeah, we're gonna do the.
How about that? We cut the Pentagon budget. It's like.
Yeah, that's not what should be meant by that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but whether or not the cutting the military spending has to do with actually trying to stop the expansion and decrease military industrial complex, or whether it's just a tool that will be used to do anti-DEI shit.
Exactly.
We'll see. And I have a feeling I know which one it's going to be.
Quickly, with the Bannon question, because we were super focused on what he said, right? Which was jarring and crazy. But the question was aid to Israel, right? Wasn't that the question? And he never answered it.
He never answered it.
So, again, they can't answer it because here they are, no, you money for Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. And they can't actually, and we're the bloated spending and the this and that. But the actual question was a good one. What do you think? How does Israel aid square with your worldview? Yeah. And you're wanting to cut the budget and all this and save money.
And America first.
And he turned it back on the fucking, it's the progressive. Shut the fuck up, that's not the question.
Before we talk about that, have you considered the fact that there's these Jews out there trying to fuck your shit up?
Exactly.
Have you considered that you have a nephew who's going to try to bring a progressive Haggadah to this year's Passover?
Yeah, exactly. We're not reading that shit.
Yep.
We're only reading the most Zionist Haggadah that we can print out.
What's a Haggadah?
So at Passover, you read the thing.
Oh, I've read that before.
Yeah.
It's the Passover script.
Yeah. But, sometimes you can like switch up the script and make it like super woo.
Is Elijah hot?
I mean, he's not even there.
I know, but that's why I'm like, I just like imagine him. Like,
that's why he's late, because he's so hot.
Is he just like really cute?
He's invited to all these other parties.
This is just me learning.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we have solved the Israel-Palestine crisis.
Again.
Yeah.
How many fucking
Again,
times
how many
do we need to solve this fucking crisis? Apparently 90. 'Cause
Yeah.
This is our 90th episode.
Is it 90? I think it might be 89, and I wrote 90 accidentally.
While I'm reading your fucking StreamYard title.
I'm sorry. But listen, we've solved it 89 times. Maybe we can do 11 more and get to a
And the
nice
100th in live
100. Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll get a live show. Listen,
in 2 weeks.
we want to do a live show. But we will first have to find a venue. But until then, Francesca Fiorentini, my wife. So good to have you on.
Thank you for having me. Everybody check out the Bitchuation Room wherever you get your podcasts.
There's our thumbnail right there.
Him just like trying to kiss me. And
you really thinking about it.
Yeah, you're considering it.
YouTube.com/FrannyFio.
Yeah, check it out. It's a great podcast. And she's
It's a live stream.
It's a live stream. That's right. So you can watch live 3 days a week.
Watch live.
Watch
Sorry.
live, my wife. And patreon.com/badhasbara, badhasbara@gmail.com. All right, everyone. Thanks again so much for listening. And until next time, from the river to the sea.
Orange, you glad this episode was free?
Wow.
Wow. That was amazing.
Jumping jacks was us. Push-ups was us. Krav Maga us. All karate us.